कर दिया.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so yeah, where were we? So we've successfully rendered this country. Let's see what's the next step is. Now we need to like do this on change on select. So on change, what's going to happen? On change, we need to update a state, I think. So we're going to create a new state for cities as well. Or we can create it into a different function. Hold on. We're going to create a state for single country. Single country. There's going to be nothing inside of it. So whenever this changes, we're going to set single country, just the way we usually do in input box. We're going to pass an event e dot target dot value. Okay, fine. This should update that state. Also, I notice I haven't given the options the value. So value is going to be the same country dot country, because obviously when we give the value, that's the value that is going to be passed from on change to the e dot target dot value. And also when we do that, it should change. It should change. For example, if you select Algeria, it should change to Algeria. I remember when I was building this, there was one error that was not going away. So I had to do this value equals single country. I mean, it's not creating any error right now, but later it was creating an error. Whichever country that I was selecting, it was always showing Afghanistan at the top because it's at the top. So let's just give this value equals single country, because it does, whenever the state will be updated, it's going to be at the top. Okay. So yeah, set single country. And you know what, because we need where our cities are dependent on this country's select, so we're going to create a different function for it. You'll know why. We're going to create a function called fetch cities. Inside of it, we're going to just give this set country, set single country, and we need to pass that country over here. Fetch cities. So this fetch cities function will be called whenever we choose any of the countries over here. So it's going to pass the exact value that is selected over here, and that value is taken over here. From here, it's going to go to our state. I'll explain why we have done this, because now we need to find that the cities of that particular country. And how are we going to do that? Const find cities, and inside of it we're going to run a function called find, which we also used in our to-do list app. Countries dot find. Remember this countries array, it contains all of our countries and the cities inside of this. We used it over here, we mapped through it. So we're just going to find that single country. Let's give it C. So C dot country, if that country is equals to our country, the one that we have selected, then it's going to give that particular object over here. Let's see if it's working or not. Find cities. Yeah. Let's select any country. Here we go. That country is over here, and Dora, and all of the cities as well. So yeah, it's working. So what we need to do, we need to create now a cities array. I mean cities state. use state for all of the cities, and this should be an array. So now we're going to set it, set cities. Yes, no, set cities, because we need this array. So we need to type, we need to type fetch cities dot cities. Yes, because we need this array. So it's going to have all of these cities inside of it. Now that we got the cities, we're just going to populate it inside of this cities array. And let's just create one more for a single city. We'll use that later. Okay, let's come over here. Also, we're only going to render this if there's something inside of the cities array. Okay. Yeah, this one. Cities dot map. Just bring it inside of this. What happened to this? What's going on? What? Okay, got it. This and yeah, here, yeah, it's working. So let's render all of our cities. Let me just check if it's correct. Yes, city. And since we have all of the city, I think we don't need to write anything else. We just need to write city. And this should work. If we select any country, and yeah, we have gotten all of the cities. Now what's our job? When we press the go button, it should print something that this is your country and this is your city. So we need to take this city as well. For that, we created this single city array. Where to go? Yeah, on change. We need to fire this off. Single set, single, whoop, set, single city. E dot target dot value. Again, we're going to provide it a value as well. Also for the options, single city. Yeah, also for the options as well here. Also, I need to provide the key, which I forgot. Key can also be city. I don't think two cities should overlap. We'll see if there's any error. No, there's none. Okay, it's working. And on the button, we're going to create a submit handler. Submit handler function, which is going to fire off when we submit this. So what this submit handler is going to do, it's going to first of all check const and submit hands and some, yeah, fine. So first of all, it's going to check if there's inside of single country. If there's inside of the single country, that means single country selected, and there's inside of single city, that means city as well is selected. Only then we need to print that message. So to print that message, I think I can create another state which is going to check if which is going to check if that country and city is selected or not. So it's going to be false by default. And if it is selected, what's wrong with this? Set submit. True. What's wrong with this?
You
I think we
didn't
need.
put the arrow.
Oh, okay. Got it. Thanks. Okay, so set submit is done. So now we're going to create a message. Like, for example, your country is this and your city is this below this div. Or yeah, below this div. Let's put it as 3. 3 is something and your city is something. So inside of this, I'm going to put single country, and inside of city, I'm going to put single city. Single city. But now you'll see it's going to be printed all of the time like this, but we want conditional rendering. So what we're going to do, we're going to check if submit is true or not. Submit, and if only submit is true, only then this message will be popped up. So now it will be gone. Here we go. Let's select Algeria, something else, and go. Here you go. Your country is this and your city is this. And one more thing, if we change this, if we select any other country, then this message should go away. And because we haven't selected the cities yet, right? If we're changing the country, so let's go back to our that fetch cities function. I hope you remember where we used it. Fetch cities was used over here whenever we use different countries. So now you know why we're using a different function for this. Whenever we select a country, first of all, it should set the submit state to false. You should set the submit state to false. And this city is also selected as well. I mean, the single city state is already selected, so we need to make sure that it's null. Set single city, it should be null after we select the country, because if that is selected and this is also selected, then it's going to display this particular message. Let's reload this. Let's type this and let's select city and go. Let's change the country. Here we go. The message has been disappeared. Now we select the city again and press go. Here you go. It's working fine. And yeah, that's pretty much it, I guess. That's our mini component. This can be useful at many places while building registration form. And in general, sometimes companies also give you a little small tasks like this to check, what bugs you have in your code, somewhat like this, the one that I cleared just now, that if you change the country, it should get disappeared. It should not be appearing when we change the country. So yeah, that's all. So yeah, I guess that's it. So tomorrow we're going to start with the inshorts.com clone. So yeah, I'm pretty excited for that. Yeah, I hope you guys like this workshop. Any confusions? I'm going to put the code in front of you so you can see if there's any confusion. I'm just going to reiterate. Yes. hmm
Can you please explain the whole code step by step? Actually,
Yes. I'm just going to do it. Yeah. So first of all, we have created this select tag. Inside of this, we're going to render the option tag with all of the countries. First of all, we're fetching this API from this function. And this function is an async because we need to fetch the API. So it needs to be async and await. And await is used before, for example, if we are also using fetch, you need to put await before that as well. So we're going to fetch all of the data from here. And then we're going to extract the data that we need by typing country.data.data. Okay, there's someone that asked the question. What if we used sync? Sync is by default. We don't need to use the sync. All of the functions are synchronous by default. So if we need to make them asynchronous, so this is what we do. So countries.data.data sets the whole of the state with all of the countries and cities as I demonstrated earlier. So yeah. So also we cannot directly call the this thing. I mean, instead of writing this function, we cannot write this inside of useEffect, because useEffect cannot be made an async function. We cannot write async over here. UseEffect doesn't allow us to do that. Also, I think I'm missing something over here. No, I'm not missing. Yeah, fine. So, right, we're calling the fetch countries function over here. Sometimes there's a bug in some API. For example, the inshorts API that we're going to be using, the news API that we're going to be using, we have to add a parameter called news results length, somewhat like that. We're going to put it inside of this dependency box, that whenever the length of that particular variable changes, that means if it's 20, that means it's fetching 20 news. If it's changed to 30, it should call this function again, because we need to fetch the data again, because the news has been changed from 20 to 30. So in those cases, we need to provide a dependency over here. So yeah, so first of all, we're calling this function to fetch everything inside of this set countries state. Then when we go down over here, we're just rendering all of the countries by typing country.country. Inside of that object, we need to take only the country variable of each array item. So we're just rendering that over here. And on select of each option, we're calling this fetch cities. What fetch city is doing is it's setting the single country and finding that single country in the whole of the array, whole of the data that we have in our state. It's going to find that particular array, I mean that particular item. Inside of that item, we're going to have that country and all of the cities. So we just need all of the cities. So when this set cities state is called, it's going to set all of the cities of that particular country inside of this particular variable of the cities. Now that we have all of the cities, we're just going to render them over here inside of this second select tag. So it's working the same way as the upper tag. It's just rendering all of the cities over here. And on select, we're just setting single city variable, this single city variable. So now that we have our single country variable and our single city variable, we're ready to print it. So we're going to print it by clicking on this button. When we click on this button, a submit handle function is called. It checks if there's a single country and there's a single city. Okay, there are both of them over here. So let's just set submit to true. And the moment the set submit is true, we're going to be popped up a message like your country is this and your city is this. And and when we decide to change our country from the select box of the country, what it's going to do, it's going to set submit to false and set single city to null. So that message once again gets disappeared. Let me just demonstrate it again. Here we go. When we reload this page, you can see all of the countries has been, oops, I forgot to do one thing. So we don't have cities over here, so we shouldn't just display this city component over here. So what we're going to do, we're going to make conditional rendering on this. So cities, it should do conditional rendering, or do I need to provide null? I think I need to provide null over here. Let's just write null. Yes, it's working. Let me select any city, I mean country, and here we go. Okay, let's restart it. So we have loaded our application. It has gone to use state, and it has used this fetch countries function to fetch all of the cities from the API. Now, when we select a city, I mean country, it's going to set this single country state with that country. And inside of this function, it's going to find that single city. Where's the function? What? Yeah, this is the function. Inside of this function, it's going to find that single country and all of the cities. All of the cities are going to be rendered over here. And when we set any of the city by clicking it in any of the cities and press the go, it's going to print it over here. Or we can throw an error with the message to select the country first. uh, yeah, we can throw an error, exactly, we can do that. But I think this will be better if we just don't show the cities. Here we go. It's, I think it's just a better UI to just not show that particular component. So yeah, that's all, I guess. So any confusions? Let me just put the code over here. I'm going to push this code to my GitHub so you can clone it. So yeah, that's all. Shall we end this?
Hello, Piyush.
Hi, Rajat.
I have one query. Sometimes, whenever we write some function inside the on click or on submit,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we have to use the arrow function then and there only.
Yeah, just like this, right?
Yeah,
Just like this.
yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
Sometimes we write the whole function here, and
Okay. Okay. Let me explain.
yeah,
So if we need to pass any parameter to this submit handler, so we need to write an arrow function. We cannot do this like this. If we need to pass anything, or name or city or anything, we use the arrow function over here. But if we need to just call it, we can write it like this. No need to use the arrow function. See, since we are supposed to set the city over here, then we are using the arrow function. Otherwise, we would have called the set single city directly.
yeah, got it. Thank
Hmm.
you.
Yeah. All right. Any other doubts? All right. So from tomorrow, we're going to start working on our in shorts clone. Hopefully, according to my plan, I think it's going to last 3 sessions or 2 sessions. Let's just see how long it lasts. So yeah, that's all. We're going to use Material UI as well in that. I think Rajat, you asked me to use Material UI, right?
Piyush, if you have pen, can you show us how to make a pull request?
Okay. So whatever the profile, I mean, whatever the repository you're supposed to pull, you just first you have to fork that particular repository, and when it lands into your repositories, you can just clone it inside of your terminal, and then make the necessary changes and then push it into that particular repository. And I think that's going to create a pull request, if I'm not wrong. You have to first fork it and then edit that particular repository like a normal repository. Or I'm going to go through this in like in more explanation tomorrow. If you want, I can just show you
If,
how you can do that.
if you click on this React News app in shorts clone,
Hmm.
and then there is a pull request here, na? The third option.
Yes. Yes. Then see what I told you.
Hmm.
uh, when you fork, and then it's going to land in your repositories, and then you're going to edit that particular repository, then it's going to pop up a pull request over here. For example, if you made changes to any of this repository, any of my repository, it's going to make a pull request over here. For example, that means you're trying to contribute to this repository, and then I'm the decision maker, that I have to either accept it or reject that pull request. I think that is how it works. I'll explain on like more explanation tomorrow.
Okay. I thought that we could pull request for the particular file. Suppose we have to make changes in app.css only, and we don't have.
Okay, I'll check that. I'm not sure that about that right now. I'll let you know tomorrow. Is that fine?
Okay.
Okay, cool. Okay, so with this, I think we should end this session. So thank you everyone for joining, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Goodbye.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks.
you.
Thank you.